welcome back to part two. This is where I go a little crazy. Life stories, all kinds of stuff that happened to me in my past. A lot of it bad, and then a lot of it good, talking about my friends, and mainly bringing it all around to why triggering people like Gabbie Hanna should not be doing and saying what they're doing and saying, even if she thinks it's for entertainment and trolling. It's not for trolling. It's not funny. I go into that in here. If you don't know who she is, good for you. I never followed her. I never watched her videos, and I've already seen way too much of her over the last few weeks. Look at me, I'm a mess. I got to go get ready for the rest of this day, and I got to get ready to film. So enjoy my craziness. I rant a bit. It gets emotional. Yeah, this is me. Here's why I stopped buying big brands and started supporting indies. It was last June or July when, what was it, Carmageddon 2020 happened with Jenna Marbles quit YouTube, which, you know, everybody's like, that sucks. I said, I want to be the next Jenna Marbles with my Iggy's because, you know, I have a cute husband, although she's engaged now. Yay! Or actually, didn't they say, he said they got married, I think, already. He said Julian said they didn't tell anyone. Much like me and my husband, we're like, oh yeah, we're married, you know, 10 years, whatever, 11 years ago. We waited 10 years to get married. So, you know, 'cause that was me. I didn't want to get married. I'm like, I don't need a ring. I'm good. But, you know, Jenna Marbles quit YouTube. And then Shane Dawson was like, I'm going to, you know, I want to ride the Jenna Marbles train and I'm going to quit YouTube. And everyone's like, you're no Jenna Marbles. We don't care. No, I mean, I know Shane people were like freaking out about it, but you know what I'm saying? It was like, it's not the same thing at all. So when that all was going on, and then Jeffree Star completely ghosted Shane and was like, not, if you don't know who any of these people are, don't worry about it. Anyway, if you do, you'll know what I'm talking about. Jeffree Star pissed me off because he has been nothing but problematic for so long. And then Shane gets completely dragged and thrown to the wolves. And just, after the Tati video and all that, gets dragged to the ground, dragged to hell. Jeffree Star, it's like crickets for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Doesn't say a goddamn thing to support him. And I was like, well, screw you then. I don't care if you're problematic or not, but somebody who like cares more about their money and their brand than somebody who they allege is such a good friend, done with you. Not just done with you because of that, but because of all the other crap like that. Oh no, that doesn't exist. That's not a problem. Just because you don't talk about something doesn't mean it's not a problem. It means it's not a problem to you. It's a problem to everybody else in the world that you're influencing. If it's not a problem to you, fine, but you put yourself out in the public and people are listening to you and watching you, and that's not right. So yeah, I stopped buying, you know, Jeffree Star stuff. I stopped buying a lot of problematic brands and things. And the more I got into like all the veganism and everything too, and I mean, as like a musician and an artist, and I paint and draw, and I've done that my whole life. I'm a musician and everything. I've always supported small artists. So of course I'm not going to, like, why do I want to give my money to people who already have millions of dollars? I'd rather give my money to somebody like Rebel Rouge or OMFG who DMs me, or like Annette. Annette DM'd me back and forth like crazy, you know. Rebel Rouge Labs today DM me back and forth like crazy. These indie brands are contacting me and I'm nobody. I mean, you guys like me, but I mean, I'm small. I'm sorry. My allergies are so acting up right now. My allergy meds are wearing off. This is what happens. It sucks. But I do want to make one big announcement here for the last big thing on my live. Where is it at? Hold on. I'm going to my Instagram because I am at 1,202. I'm dying. I passed 1,200 followers on my Instagram. I am so excited about that. I'm really trying to get to 2,000 on there Then I can call myself a micro influencer. Maybe I can at 1,200. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I know what it's like. I was in an independent indie industrial rock band in Detroit for years. And oh, look, wait. There's my favorites. There's one of my favorite CDs that we did, and that is My Eyes. That's me on the cover. This is when we were Mental Landscape. That was before we were Half-Life. I actually was the cover of this, and there's a close-up of my creepy eye on the back. Don't ask how I got my eyes that color. And then here is the CD and everything. I did all the artwork for this. I did the whole layout on Photoshop of all this. And this was 1995 this came out. Holy crap, some of you weren't even alive then, kids. Kids, you weren't even alive when I made this CD. And there's the band, and this was our symbol, one of our symbols. So I designed this whole thing. This is me. This is my art design. This is my graphic design. I did the bodies, the weird, crazy black and white ORGY, Jeffree Star. I did this in 1995. Screw y'all. Screw you. I did that on our CD in 1995. And I did it in negative so it doesn't look as creepy. And I'm not in it. Anyway, because I ain't all about myself. So yeah, this was one of our CDs. And I did, where is it? I have it in here. I can't believe I have it. I have to cover this up. It has my real name on it. I won the Detroit Music Award for Best Bassist in Rock. And this was in, I'm covering my name up. I don't want you guys to see it. In 1994 for Mental Landscape. 1994 Detroit Music Awards. This is my award. The coolest thing about this was there are always like famous people at the Detroit Music Awards. And I had them come up to me and they're like, hey, we got to take some pictures. Can you take some pictures with some people? I'm like, all right. Okay. I'm like, okay. I didn't even know I won. And they're like, you won. I'm like, holy shit. So they pull me over and I'm taking pictures with people. And they're like, this is Iggy Pop's drummer. Pause for effect. I can't do it. I can't do the Alyssa Edwards. There we go. That was sad. Alyssa would kick me out the house. I'd be kicked out of the Edwards house. There we go. Yeah, so I had to take a photo with Iggy Pop's drummer. He's like, put his arm around me and he's like, she won Best Bassist. And I'm like, holy shit. Holy shit. I have met many famous bands and musicians back in my day. I'm not going to go into them all now. But I met and hung out with a lot of them. I was pen pals with some. I just found I have a letter. Peter Murphy from Bauhaus, Peter Murphy, wrote me a letter. I have a letter and a picture. And I actually kissed Peter Murphy as he was walking out of his, when Indigo Eyes came out, his solo thing, and Indigo Eyes was on it. Actually got to meet him. And I was like, I actually kissed him and said, oh my God, I love you. And he just like looked like he was shocked. Yeah, I essayed Peter Murphy after a show. And I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I was like a total groupie. I'm not sorry. I don't apologize. You only get to be this close to Peter Murphy from Bauhaus one time in your life. You freaking kiss him. You kiss Peter Murphy if he's right here. If you know Love and Rockets and Bauhaus, I hung out after one of their shows upstairs at St. Andrews Hall in Detroit. I saw 2 different Love and Rockets shows, and I got to hang out upstairs with Daniel Ash and Kevin Haskins, who are the drummer and guitar player from Bauhaus and the guitar player, singer, drummer for Love and Rockets, who is like, love Love and Rockets. And I got to hang out after the show with them upstairs. That was really cool. If you know the band The Swans, Michael Gira and Jarbo from back in the day, The Swans, who is they're a very well-known industrial band. And I love The Swans. I've seen them live a bunch of times. Michael Gira stayed at my band's apartment when he was doing a spoken word tour. So Michael Gira and I have had like you know, he slept. I made him breakfast. He stayed at our apartment. He likes kiwis. I had to keep a fridge full of kiwis, and he liked his kiwis like refrigerated, like cold. I had kiwis in the door of my fridge for Michael Gira. It was really weird. So yeah, but Jarbo is one of my favorite artists, musicians, and I followed them from the Detroit show to the Cleveland show. So I hung out with them, and Iggy Pop's drummer was playing with the Swans at the time. So I hung out with them after the show in Cleveland, and I took Jarbo a bouquet of lilies. And Jarbo and I had like a friendship for years. She actually sent me a gift that she handmade. It's a box. I'll show it sometime if you want to see it. She sent me a gift, and I have a whole envelope of letters and postcards from her. We were kind of like pen pals, and we wrote back and forth. There's Rusty. There's my itty bitty. Itty bitty. Little bitty bitty. This is my little crypt keeper. This is my little 17 and a half year old. Look at, she is spry. You're spry. She's like mad at me. She's like, you're filming and not paying attention. Can you believe she's going to be 18? Look at her. She quagey. I got lipstick on you. I got lipstick on you. She cut it out, Mom. Okay, go down there. Go, careful. No, you know what? Let's put you this. So she's little. She's only 6 pounds. She's got itty bitty Iggy. Look at all legs. Okay, go. All right, go. I don't want to drop you. Daddy will kill me. That's Daddy's girl. Anyway, so yeah, Jarbo and I had like a relationship, like as far as like writing to each other. She sent me thank you letters. Michael sent me like a 4-page letter after he stayed with us. So it was cool being in a, you know, I don't care. Like, I will never be age shamed by anybody. If you want to age shame me, I will pull out my receipts. I will pull out my cards and my letters. I was so, there is no other time I was happier to be like in my 20s and 30s than in the 90s, because I saw Smashing Pumpkins live. I saw Butthole Surfers live. I saw Hole, Courtney Love, Hole, the original. When Malibu came out, I saw them live. I saw the very first tour that Portishead ever did, and there was nobody there. I saw Portishead live. I have the ticket. I saw Tom Waits in Chicago, which was like freaking amazing. Tom Waits doesn't really tour anymore either. I saw Tom Waits in Chicago in 1999. I have the ticket stub. I saw KMFDM, if you know who they are. I saw Sisters of Mercy, not once, but twice. I saw them for the Dominion tour at Shane Park in Detroit. And then I went and saw them in Chicago for a different tour. So who else did I see? God, I saw Love and Rockets. So I saw Killing Joke on the Millennium Tour. That was possibly the best concert of my life. Possibly. Jazz Coleman is like my hero on stage. So I saw Killing Joke on stage live. One of my favorite shows I've ever seen. I saw Tori Amos for the Little Earthquakes tour when nobody knew who she was. Little Earthquakes came out. Nobody knew who Tori Amos was. I bet you forgot about her. If you don't know Tori Amos, go back and listen to the Little Earthquakes album. I saw Liz Phair back in the 90s. I went to the Lilith Fair. If anybody knows what the Lilith Fair was, I went to the Lilith Fair in the 90s at Pine Knob in Detroit, which now has a different name. I saw Weird Al Yankovic at Meadowbrook Music Theater, which was freaking hilarious and one of the best shows ever. That was when Amish Paradise came out, and it was so funny. That was a great show. We sat on the lawn at Meadowbrook. It was outside in like a concert dome, kind of like the Hollywood Bowl. That was cool. Who else did I see? God, I saw so many shows. I went to Lollapalooza back in the day. I saw Jane's Addiction. I mean, I saw Depeche Mode for the Black Celebration Tour. The Black Celebration Tour at Pine Knob in Detroit. I saw Depeche Mode. Bunch of other 80s people. I'm trying to think of who else. I don't know. I've seen so many concerts. It's like scary. Those are I saw Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Definitely pause for effect. I saw Nick Cave live, and it was a freaking life-changing experience. The Swans live and Nick Cave live are like life-changing experiences, and Killing Joke. I saw The Mission UK. I didn't see Fields of the Nephilim. That was a bummer. Tori Amos was one of the best concerts of my life, though. I saw her at this little tiny club that my band played at, clubs this small, little tiny club in Pontiac, Michigan called Industry. I think it was still Industry at the time. And she had no band. It was her and a grand piano, and that was it. Oh, this is going to blow your mind. I saw REM not once, but twice. The first time I saw REM was in, I think, 1987 or 88. And it was when Radio Free Europe came out. It was their second album. Nobody knew who REM was. It was their second album. I saw them at the Royal Oak Music Theater in Detroit. I've seen Rob Zombie like 2 or 3 times. The coolest thing is I hung out with Rob Zombie in Hollywood at Hollywood Horror Nights at Universal Studios. He actually did a horror themed haunted house. And I went with my first husband, who was an independent film director. And we went out to Hollywood to go to Rob Zombie's, Hollywood Horror Nights thing. And they said, oh, Rob Zombie's going to be there in his house, and he's going to be dressed up. Well, the thing was, there were like 4 or 5 Rob Zombies in the house. So it's like, which one is the real one? Well, it turns out afterwards, we snuck into the after party, and I hung out with Rob. I met Rob Zombie, the most down-to-earth, nice guy in the world. He was eating a slice of pizza, and he came over to me, and he wiped his hand on his pants, and he went, "Hi, I'm Rob." And I almost fell over. I'm like, my first words were, "I know who you are." I'm like, oh my God, I just saw you in Detroit. They had just played in Detroit, and I went to their show in Detroit. So I had seen them there. And what was really cool is I was telling them, oh yeah, I'm a bass player with this band in Detroit. And we played at the same place that I just saw you guys at. So I ended up hanging out that night with his bass player and his drummer. And they were so freaking cool. They were so nice. And they were like, oh, and it was cool because we were talking like band people. They, it wasn't like a fan thing. I told them I had just saw him at the State Theater or the Fox, whatever. Bye, Sylvia. Go feed your daughter. Thanks for watching. So we're at like the State Theater or wherever it was, and I saw them, and that was such a great show. Oh, I just remembered the coolest shows I've ever seen. Hold on, I'm saving the best for last. Raven, hold on to your boots. You're gonna fall over when I tell you the two coolest shows that I've seen. If you know who they are, you better know who they are. But yeah, so I'm talking to Rob Zombie's drummer and bass player, and they're like, how was the sound? Because we really didn't, it sounded terrible on stage. How was the sound out in the theater? And I'm like, dude, I've been on that stage and played on that stage. It always sounds like ass when you're playing, but it sounds great to the audience. So it was so cool to like hang out with his drummer and bass player and just talk like musicians, It was so nice. A, Rob Zombie's really tall. B, his drummer and bass player are like only about this much taller than me, and I'm 5'4". I think they're shorter than my husband, who is like 5'9" or 10 or something. So yeah, anyway, so that was cool. So I'm saving the best for last. And anyone who wants to age shame me, screw you. I saw Skinny Puppy twice in Detroit. Twice. The original lineup. I saw the Too Dark Park tour, which was like really amazing. Nivek Ogre came out. That was the show where he came out in the full. You could probably look it up online for Too Dark Park Skinny Puppy, but he came out wearing stilts on his arms and his legs, and he looked like one of those Striders from the Dark Crystal movie. It was the creepiest thing ever. It was so freaking cool. I could close my eyes and picture that stage right now like I'm still there. It's so cool. The other one I saw that is really a rarity was I saw Alien Sex Fiend. If you don't know who Alien Sex Fiend is, they are a crazy, crazy back in the day punk band. And they did a song called I Walk the Line. It's I Walk the Line Between Good and Evil, which was I always considered it my theme song. Oh my God. If you don't know I Walk the Line, it's just one of the best songs. The great thing about Nick Fiend, who is the lead singer, was he was so out there and wacko that everybody was throwing stuff on the stage, and whatever people threw on the stage, he would eat. I am not kidding, hand to God or hand to whatever you believe in. Whatever people threw at the stage, he would eat it. Okay. So people were throwing cigarette butts at the stage because you could still smoke in the theater back in the 90s and the 80s. People were throwing cigarette butts and he was going and swallowing them. And then there was like paper on the stage and he was picking it up and eating it. And I'm like, this is freaking crazy. But oh my God, seeing Alien Sex Fiend, the stage set they had, the two best stage sets I've ever seen are Alien Sex Fiend and Skinny Puppy, Too Dark Park. Those were absolutely, without a doubt, the coolest. So that's why I'm like, for one thing, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and try to toot my own horn, but except for, I hate this, right? Look at, I'm so sensitive. I'm like, I hate this, but that's because I got fat in 2020. I turned 52 recently and I go out and I get carded, you know, which is cool. But I really think that age is in your head. And there's some disconnect in my head that age doesn't work with me. I've had, ever since I was a little kid, I mean, not a little kid, but when I was a little kid, I always was like an old soul. And then once I got older, it's like age didn't mean anything to me. And it's weird because I just saw Trisha Paytas on H3. They were doing her birthday show. And she was saying, she's like, I don't want to live past a certain age. And I'm like, dude, I always said I had so much in common with her when I was younger. And after seeing her talk about, I'm not going to live to be old. I used to say in my 20s, I'm not going to live past 40. There's no way. I always said, there's no way I'm going to live past 40. If I do, I will like jump off a building because I wore a t-shirt on stage all the time. And in black glitter, it said, live fast, die pretty. And that was like my thing. I wore that on stage and in photo shoots and things all the time. And I always said, I'm never going to get old. I'm going to totally kick it before I get old. There's no way. But at the same time, I never age. There's like a disconnect in my brain somehow. I think I have some like short circuit in my brain that makes me, whoa, you almost slipped. Hello, Lydia. That almost makes me not realize what age is because I don't believe in it. It's like, you know, people say I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. Well, I'm an anti-ageist. I don't believe in age. Oh, is that yummy makeup? Oh, thank you. Who needs micellar water when you have a Lydia? But I don't believe in age. I think, you know, if you believe you're old, you're old. I mean, and as soon as you start thinking, and I mean, it has its ups and downs. I mean, I've really not had a lot of, I mean, I have responsibility in my life, but you know, I don't have kids. I don't want kids. I have this kid right here. I have my Lydia. Oh my God, she's hugging me to death. Oh, I know. I love you very much. Yes. But I think if you believe you're old, you're old. And I'm also lucky that, like I said, good genetics. I have really good genetics. So I kind of don't feel old. Yeah. Age is totally an illusion. Like, I mean, you could be, look at, I mean, and there's people who, you know, yeah, they do look older. They look rough. Like, what's his name? Keith, what's his name from the Rolling Stones and, you know, Mick Jagger and stuff. I mean, they're still badasses. I'm sorry. They're old, but they will kick somebody's ass on stage. You know, like you got to admire. I mean, look at Madonna. Madonna is, I mean, she's having like the hip problems and the knee problems from all the performing and stuff, but she's like taking care of herself and she's still out there kicking ass, you know? And you don't see Madonna out there going, oh, wah. Okay, I'm going to rant about this for 1 second and that's it. No, more than 1 second. Gabbie Hanna is out here bitching to everybody, being like, oh, poor me. Oh, everyone hates me. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm an artist. Nobody appreciates my art. Madonna is a 50-something ass woman who is in severe, severe pain to the point where she had to cancel shows because she's in so much pain. And what does she do? She's not bitching about it. She's not crying. She's not being mad and attacking people. She goes home or she goes to her hotel and she sits in a freezing cold ice bath. If you watched her Instagrams, she sits in an ice bath, which is horrific and looks so painful. And she does that. and sits in an ice bath. And then she's like, I'm going to try to still keep touring. So, you know what? I'm sorry, Gabbie Hanna, shut the fuck up. You're no Madonna, and you never will be. You know, a person who is a consummate professional and who is truly a musician and an artist does not sit there and attack people out of anger and bitterness. It's like Gabbie Hanna strikes me as the most bitter person I have ever seen on the planet. It's like, why are you so fucking bitter? I mean, what are you so mad at? It's, you know, someone take her phone away. I actually commented, I don't know if Adam's still on here, but I commented on one of his videos on her, and my comment got like over 300 likes, and it started a whole conversation in a thread on his video. And people started all telling their stories. And I said, I am, and I've never said this either. This is why you got to watch my lives 2 hours in. I'm saying it now so everybody doesn't hear it unless they're being patient. I survived not only 1, but 3 to 4 relationships by narcissistic abusers. I was mega essayed. I was the first guy I went out with and lost my virginity. It was not my choice. I'm not going to say the R word, but it was not my choice. And it was stupid. And I still, to the certain point, I blame myself because I put myself in the situation to be alone with this guy, and I shouldn't have. I was too young, and he was a couple years older than me, and I didn't know any better. And I kind of invited him over when my parents weren't home. And I thought, you know, this will be cute. We can make out. And it went a lot farther. And by the end of the night, I was trying to push him off of me and hitting him with things. And the rest is history. That's how that started. And then after that, I so blamed myself and felt so crappy about myself that I blamed myself for what happened to me, to the point where the guys that I dated after that were horrible, abusive guys who were very narcissistic, very abusive. And I was such a target for them because I was like, I just want you to like me. I'll do whatever you want, you know, and I suck anyway. I'm a terrible person. So, you know, whatever you treat me like, that's fine. And my first marriage was not good. He came from a very troubled background. His dad abandoned him and his mom. He was an alcoholic. I don't think he's ever admitted he was an alcoholic, but he had 1 DUI when I married him. And I said, if I marry you, if you get pulled over again, if you get a second DUI, I'm out. I'm done. I don't deal with alcoholics. I don't deal with it. We were married. We didn't even move in together. Hi. And he got his second DUI, and I was like, screw it, I'm out. And I separated from him and I divorced him. The night that he got arrested, he called me and I wouldn't answer the phone. I'm like, I ain't coming to get your ass. I warned you. I said, if you do this, I will not be there for you. I will not, because I can't. He didn't physically abuse me, but he would get very angry and violent. He would hit things. He would throw things, never touched me, but he did mentally and emotionally very much beat me up. He told me I was fat all the time. I was really skinny, and he would grab my skin and go, what's this? You're fat. And I'm like, that's skin. I remember saying that to him. He grabbed my waist, and he goes, what's this? What's this, fatty? And I go, hello, that's skin. What the fuck? I mean, but you know, that's what I thought I deserved because of my past. And it just, you know, oh, you stay too. Yeah. I mean, I thought I deserved it. And the worst one I was with was when I was in my early 20s. I was actually in art school, and I met a guy who he was absolutely like textbook abuser. Textbook. Looking back, I'm so mad. When we met, he took me out to the most expensive dinner I had ever been to. And I was only like 19 or 20 at the time. So I was like, you know, stars in my eyes. He was in his mid-20s. Took me out to this really expensive dinner. Then textbook. He started buying me like expensive clothes. He started picking out my clothes for me. He started alienating me from my friends. And then it got worse and worse, to the point where the worst night, he came home from work and I was hiding in the attic because I didn't want to be like beaten up or have something thrown at me or anything. It turns out I found out his mom talked to me once, and she said, are you okay? And I was like, why? And he wasn't there. And I had to talk with his mom. And I found out that his brother had killed himself. I mean, it's a horrific story. I'm sorry to be so like downer at the end of this, but I have a point. His brother hung himself because their dad had abused both of them and their mom, and he was an alcoholic. And this is the guy I fell in love with and moved in with. Or I thought I was in love with him. I guess I thought like that's all I could get or all I could deserve or whatever, you know? So I ended up with that guy. Yeah, that's the start. They're like, they buy you stuff and then they start to alienate you from friends and they alienate you. So in the end, he tried to kill me. True story. I filed a restraining order against me. He threw me off his front porch over his head. He picked me up and threw me off a cement porch down 2 steps. I fell and rolled. I got in my car. He came after me with a chain. I was in my car and he whacked my car with a chain and there were chain marks on my car. I drove to the police station. I parked in front of the police station and I was going to try to run in and say, help. He told me he was going to go to my funeral and laugh at me in my coffin after he killed me. Nice guy. Nice guy. I found out too late after I'd moved in with him that he wasn't only a drug addict and an alcoholic, he was selling drugs too. And I was only in my early 20s. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to confide in. I was too embarrassed to tell my family. Oh no, this guy was crazy. So I drive to the police station. I pull up in front of the police station. I look in my rearview mirror. The last thing I see he had a Ford Bronco, this huge truck like Ford. I saw lights coming at my car at full speed, and he rear-ended my car as I was parked in front of the police station, smashed my car, pushed me off the road and into a fence. And the police all came running out, threw him in handcuffs, slammed him on the car, pulled me out of my car and put blankets around me because I was in shock. And they took me in, and the detective, I don't remember his name, but bless his heart, he was like the sweetest guy. He made me feel so safe. And I had previously filed a restraining order with this detective because at this point, I should say, I moved out. I was there getting my stuff out of his house when he threw me off the porch. I was there getting my things out of his house. Oh, yeah, the police saw him smash into my car right in front of their station out the window. That's how crazy this bastard was. He was on drugs and he was alcoholic. He smashed into my car and tried to kill me in front of a police station with no remorse. So I actually, I was so young at the time. I was terrified. Yeah, he was nuts. I was terrified to go tell my family. My youngest brother is the only one who knew the extent of what happened because he went to court with me to testify and things. And I blocked most of it out of my memory, to be honest. I blocked a lot of it out. I don't remember being at court. I don't remember testifying and things or telling them everything. But they did press charges against him. I mean, he got in so much trouble. But I always wondered why his mom kept asking me if I was okay. And then I found out like all the damage. And the bad thing was, and I've never told anybody this, was because of living with him, I got very addicted to a lot of very bad drugs in my 20s. And I've never told anybody that before. But when I met my new band, who I got away from him, I had to file a restraining order against him for me and my family. He threatened to come to my mom and dad's house and harm my mom and dad and anyone around me. So I had to file a restraining order against him for my whole family, which was insane. And I remember the detective saying, that bastard better hope that lightning doesn't strike you, because if you walk out of your house and if you walk out of your house and lightning strikes you, we're going after him. I thought it made me feel so good. I never forgot that. I couldn't believe that. I was like, holy shit, this detective's awesome. He made me feel so safe. But so, yeah, it was scary. I mean, I would walk out of my mom and dad's house and be looking, to make sure somebody wasn't coming after me. And soon after that, I met a new boyfriend who was the sweetest guy. And he helped me. He sat with me while I went through what's it called? Withdrawal, like drug withdrawal and stuff. I remember nights he sat with me on the steps of his apartment, hugging me and not letting me leave because I wanted to go out and get like wasted. And he's like, I'm not letting you go. And I was so lucky that right after all that happened, I had like 3 total angels of my life come into my life. One is my friend Dean, who's my boyfriend after that, who's a bass player. And he is now the bass player in my band Half Life. He took over for me when I left to move out to Pennsylvania. So we've known each other for like 30 years. Jamie and Jeremy, I met my new band, and they unfortunately had to deal with me in what I call my Trisha Paytas, Gabbie Hanna stage, which was after I got away from that whole situation. I got off drugs. I got everything. I was fine, but I wasn't fine. I became a very, very bad, like, abuser of all my friends, and anyone who would try to get close to me, I would abuse the shit out of them. That's what makes me, so that's why I'm bringing this around. That's what makes me so mad about Gabbie Hanna. Everything I see her doing, I'm like, holy shit, it's me in my 20s. And it was that I had gone through so many bad things. And they say a lot of people, if you don't get the right counseling and stuff, after you're abused and you have so many, I had 4 bad relationships that were all abusive, all narcissistic abusers, 4 relationships in a row, boom, boom, boom. All from the time I was about 15, 16 until I was, I think I was like 15 or 16 until I was in my mid 20s to late 20s. 4 different guys. And it was like, I always said I was a magnet for guys who just wanted to use me as a punching bag. I don't know. And people who I tell that to now don't believe it because they're like, you're a badass. I'm like, I'm a badass because I'm a survivor. And I'm like, screw you. You can't kill me. That's why when my friend Jeremy, when I told him I wanted to go on YouTube, he goes, you have to have a tough skin because it can be hard. If you get haters, you get this. I go, no one has been through more shit than me. Well, there's people who have been through more shit. I've been through some shit. When you've been thrown off of cement stairs and tumbled and had a guy come after you with a chain saying that he's going to laugh at your face in your casket at your funeral because he wants to kill you. The words of some haters online, like there's nothing anyone can say to me on YouTube or anywhere else that will ever fuck with my head, because I just think these people could never survive what I fucking survived. I'm sorry for my language, but they could never fucking survive what I survived. And I don't know how I did it, but I do. It was with my family and my friends. And Jamie and Jeremy, who I do the podcast with, they stood by me through my worst days. They taught me they basically rehabbed me and turned me into this lovely unicorn of a creature you see today that is full of positivity and happiness and compassion and doesn't want people to get hurt and doesn't want people to go through what I went through. So that's because of them. I mean, I'm not saying I didn't do it too, but I couldn't have done it without all my friends and my family and everything. So yeah. So that's why when I sit here and I watch like Gabbie Hanna and problematic people, like, yes, me too, but you can get hurt, still want to hurt myself to get to someone now. I'm past that. I am very much past that, but I'm also 52. I've been through it. I've been through so much. I've been with my husband for, 21 years this June, like I said. So, that's a thing. That's like to have somebody, when I met him, I mean, to this day, I still look at him and he says he loves me and he's like so into me. And I go, why? What's wrong with you? Like, why? But I'm starting to finally see him being a mirror of, I'm starting to love about myself what he loves about me. And that's when you found the right person. When you literally hated yourself and wanted to destroy yourself and everyone around you because of self regret and hatred and self-destructive properties. That's what I think Gabbie Hanna says. Oh yeah, you can get angry. My husband even said 2-3 years ago, he goes, you're so angry all the time. And he does nothing but try to make me happy. And he gets upset, because I'm angry. And I always have to tell him, like, I'm not angry at you. I'm not angry at my life. I love everything you've done for me. You are like wonderful. I have 0 complaints about you. You do everything for me. The only anger or anything I ever feel is still like little, you still have those little shades of things haunting you from the past. And that's the thing that makes me mad about Gabbie Hanna is like, she pushes those buttons. She's pushing buttons of people who don't deserve it, who don't know her, We don't care about her reality thing or her whatever the hell she's doing. We don't care. Okay. Don't care about that bitch. I do care when she spouts off hatred and vitriol and things. Oh, that's okay, Mom Dukes. It's been long. You can put it on later and listen to it in the background. It's crazy. I don't like when she gets online and screams and yells and triggers people who are on their own healing journey and they're trying to get through and heal. And Gabbie Hanna only thinks about herself, and that's why it kills me. She sits there and says, I have makeup on my piercing. Sorry, bugs me. There we go. She accuses people of being narcissistic, but there's nothing more narcissistic than spouting off and yelling at people on the internet and in TikToks and bringing up trauma in people who they're trying to heal from. And they're trying to heal from trauma. And she's like bringing it back out again. And she doesn't know us. She doesn't know what we've been through. Screw her. She doesn't know what we've been through. And just hearing her voice. I mean, I love watching Adam's channel. I love Deaf Noodles. I love Peter Mon. I watch all these drama channels, but it's like I almost have to mute Gabbie Hanna's actual voice when she's screaming and yelling because it triggers me. It reminds me of not just myself, but the people who abused me in the past. You know what I mean? Like that tone. If you've been abused or you've been essayed, you know that tone. You know that Gabbie Hanna looks in the camera, she gets that angry look. I can't do it because I'm like, woo, I've had some wine. But she gets that look in her eye and she has the flaring nostrils and she's like, bah! And screams at the camera. And I like literally recoil because here's a quick little thing. When I moved in with Jamie, we were roommates. We had so much fun together and we would wrestle just for fun as a joke. We'd be throwing each other around, wrestling like a brother and sister. And once he pinned me down on the bed and he's like, oh, I got you. And he went like this next to my face. And it triggered me where yeah, you're on here. Oops, wait, let me see. Yep, I see you. Yeah, the live chat's still going. But it triggered me so bad when Jamie did that. I curled up in a ball and started screaming at the top of my lungs and crying and rocking back and forth in a fetal position. And he had to hold me and rock me and say, it's me. I'm not going to hurt you. It's me. It sent me back to when I was hit in the past. And that's the kind of feeling, the kind of trigger that's like a voice or a look. Jay the hairdresser did that to Trisha when he was looking in the camera and spewing just this hatred and this evil shit at her. Triggered me the same way. I'm like, if you've been abused or essayed, your body recoils. You're like, ooh. And you go into this fight or flight thing. And I don't care how many years it's been. It's been 30 years since I went through all that shit. No, not quite 30, 22. It's been 22 years since I went through all that shit. And my body still recoils when somebody says a certain thing in a certain tone of voice or looks at me a certain way. I get a flight or flight response. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You don't want to. I mean, I watch those channels because I like to keep up on what's going on, but I don't care about Gabbie Hanna. I don't follow her. I never followed her. As an artist and musician I started playing bass when I was 16. Oh yeah, you never forget. Your body doesn't forget. Your reflexes don't forget. Somewhere in your brain, you don't forget. You've been reprogrammed to recoil at certain things. And sorry, unless somebody's been through that, they don't get it. And it could be a weird trigger. It could be like a sound or something, So yeah, it's terrible. And for somebody to have a platform like Gabbie Hanna does and be triggering people all over the map, like she's doing, why is that not illegal? I mean, she's hurting people emotionally. She's messing up people's healing. And that's what pisses me off. That's when I will say something. You mess up somebody's healing, you mess up the progress they've made over 20 years and make them backtrack. Screw you. You don't deserve your platform. Def Noodle said she has 3.4 public subs, or no, Adam said she has 3.4 or something million public subscribers. Why? Why? Everyone needs to unsubscribe to her because she's so she's pissing off everybody. But the thing that drives me crazy, that really triggers me, is she reminds me of myself right after I got out of abusive relationships and things where I was like so messed up. And it seems like she doesn't have the friends like I had to go, hey, calm down, bring it down. You're okay. You're with us now. You're safe. She's just going off, and it's sad. It's like terrible. But I mean, my life, I mean, honestly, now, one of the reasons too, when I started my YouTube, I told my best friend Jeremy, who I do my podcast with, that went up earlier today. I said, I really hope that maybe I can be a voice for people who are new to going through that or something. Oh, what, Gabbie Hanna's eyebrows or mine? My eyebrows rock. Gabbie Hanna's eyebrows frighten me. I'm triggered by her eyebrows. Anyways, like, I see her doing the things I did. And when I commented on Adam's video, the one Adam video that he did about her, where I had like over 300 likes and all the comments and people telling their stories, I kind of told a little bit about my story, but not a lot. And people were thanking me and they were all telling their stories. And it started this whole conversation. And it made me think, like, there aren't a lot of people on YouTube who are 20 years out of SA experiences and addiction and things like that, who are talking about it. So all I could say, I'm going to say this kind of in closing. Sorry, Mom Dukes, I'm going to get going. But in closing, hang out here, hang out with me, safe space. I'm a survivor, and I'm not only a survivor, I'm a thriver. And I mean, I am a big time thriver. Those things, I always say I'm bulletproof. My big saying is I'm bulletproof. I am bulletproof. Bullets will literally bounce off of me. If they kill me, they can't kill my soul. I'm just saying. I'm bulletproof because I've lived through it all. And on top of it, I haven't only lived through it, I am so happy with my life. I am so happy with my husband, with everything I have. I enjoy every little thing. Oh, yeah, everybody loves drama. Not me. I always say one of the reasons I was glad to get out of Detroit, there was drama in Detroit. I was an artist and musician. There was always drama. I was in drama, and I lived in drama in Detroit like a microcosm of YouTube. And I didn't like it, and it was bad for my mental health. It was bad for my physical health. And once I got out of Detroit, I turned into a different person. And one of my new friends here, who never knew me back then, I confided in her and told her some of the stuff I went through, and she couldn't believe it. She said, I can't believe you were that person in the past, that you were abused, that you were an addict, that the things you went through, I can't believe it. And I said, oh, if you don't believe me, ask my friends. I mean, I got plenty of people who will tell you how effed up I was. And that's another reason, I see Trisha Paytas. And when they're like online talking, they're so different now than they were. And I see that progress. And I don't just, people can say, oh, ex-husband's eyebrows. Oh yeah. People say they see the progress in Trisha, but what I see in Trisha is I see the progress in her that I went through, if that makes sense. She is honestly making progress. She's not faking her progress. She ain't that good of an actress. And she even says she's a bad actress. She just said it on the podcast for her birthday yesterday or 2 days ago. Well, I watched it on Monday because I'm a Fupa Troopa on H3. Fupa Troopas. I see her progress, or their progress. She said she doesn't care if you say she or their, so, which I thought was really cool. Just what Trisha said about the don't get in fights over she, they, whatever. That was also so mature and so awesome. But anyway, Trisha has made real progress, and she's not acting. And I can tell because we can sense our own. We see it. If you've been where she was and been who she was and been through the shit she's went through, and I haven't been through all of it, but I've been through a lot of it. And we're scratching the tip of the iceberg with what I've done and what I've been through in my life. You guys don't even know the half of it. I mean, I won't go into like tons of stories. Well, you can't see it right now, but I have scars all over my arms that a lot of times I wear long sleeves. They're kind of faded now, but I have like scars on my arms that are hard to see. I have cutting scars all over my arms and my legs. And yeah. Oh, there's one right there. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. See, right? It's right there. It's hard to see in the light, but that right there. The ones on my wrist pretty much faded, so that's good. But I used to have a bunch on my wrist. So yeah, I've been in dark, dark, dark effing places and I've come out of it. And I don't even know who that person was anymore. When I think back to what I used to do and where I was mentally, I don't even know that person, which is awesome. Awesome, awesome. That's progress. And when you can look at yourself honestly and you could say, the person I was, God, I feel sorry for her. I mean, I actually pity who I was in my 20s. I'm so sorry for her. I'm so sorry what I did to her. I'm sorry what she went through. I'm sorry what I put her through. And I'm not doing that anymore. You know, I'm trying to. That's why, like I said, I don't look that big, but I'm a chunky monkey now and I like it. And I don't care. And I don't hate myself because I'm happy. And yesterday, one of my friends, I haven't talked to her in a while, but we were texting and she said, "Oh my God, I haven't talked to you in a while, but I've been watching some of your YouTubes. You look so happy." She goes, "You look so happy. You look happier than, I've seen you." And I said, "Yeah, I love doing this. I honest to God love doing this." And it's so cool to have a new friend like who I've just known for like maybe 6, 8 years, not see me in a while and then see me on YouTube and say, "You're like a different person. You look so happy." Um, so yeah, and I'm not faking it. I'm not acting, and I don't think Trisha is either. I mean, I think Trisha is oh, thank you, Mom. I'm gonna call you Mom. Thank you, Mom Dukes. I did the look earlier. You'll see it. Here, I'll show you one more time. It's holding up really well. I love the screen. Came out really nice. Again, this was the Rebel Rouge Gods and Monsters palette. I'm having a very good hair day. I don't want to leave the live because my hair looks fabulous. I let it dry naturally, actually. This is what my hair looks like when it dries naturally. So anyway, that is way more than too much information. But hopefully it gives you some insight of why I'm here, why I'm doing this. I'm hoping I can be like a little beacon to help on people's healing journey too. Peter Mann is very into recovery and things like that, but I'm into it in like a little bit of a different way. I'm into recovery from totally different things in a different space. So if you have been through those things, you're safe here. I welcome you. I give you a big virtual hug and sending you good energy, sending you all Reiki healing energy. And I'm going to get going because I think I just heard my husband's car door. So yes, I love this look. Rebel Rouge, thank you. Come back again. I'm going to keep doing these lives. They won't be this long. This was like, I'm drinking wine. I'm like letting loose. I maybe shouldn't drink wine. Did I say too much? I don't care. I've been wanting to be more honest on here, and I'm being honest. So you know why I don't like the people I like now. You know why I support the indie brands I support now. Yep. And Michael Weber's, I forgot your name on there. I know that's not you. You're not Michael, but I'm here. You can do this. You're going to be fine. When you feel that anger, just remember that's not you. That's not who you are. There's somebody in there. That's the hurt you. And I said, so I was saying on Adams, I said, hurt people. And somebody said, wow, you nailed it about Gabbie. And I said, hurt people. And that's my summary of Gabbie Hanna. And she needs to stop. The best thing she can do is look in the mirror and say, I'm a hurt person. I need to stop lashing out and hurting other people. So yeah. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. I will see you in the next one. And next Monday is the giveaway. Good stuff. Menagerie, Lunar, lots of indie brands. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'll see you in the next one. Good night and goodbye, and take care of yourself. Love yourself. Remember, you're not the things that happen to you. You're better than that. Bye.